Triple H's journey to the top of the WWF in the year 2000 was not a sudden leap, but a calculated climb that involved personal relationships and the perfect timing of industry shifts. From his early days in DX to forming the McMahon-Helmsley era, his rise was aided by Steve Austin's absence, his growing influence behind the scenes, and a series of feuds that established him as the company's top villain. Before Triple H became a top talent, he had to watch others surpass him, most notably, The Rock. Throughout 1998 and early 1999, both men were rising stars, but The Rock's popularity exploded as he became the corporate-backed champion, aligning himself with Vince McMahon and the corporation. Meanwhile, Triple H was still in DX, trying to transition from his juvenile crotch-chopping persona into something more serious. At WrestleMania 15 in March 1999, The Rock headlined against Stone Cold Steve Austin in the main event, while Triple H was involved in a mid-card match against Kane. Later that year, The Rock captured the WWF Championship again at Backlash 1999, solidifying his status as the company's next megastar. Meanwhile, Triple H had yet to hold the championship, leaving him frustrated and determined to carve his own path. By the summer of 1999, Triple H made a significant transformation. Shedding the last remnants of his DX persona, he adopted a more vicious and calculated approach. He began calling himself The Game, claiming that he was that damn good and superior to everyone else in the ring. His first real shot at the WWF Championship came at SummerSlam 1999, where he was part of a triple threat match against Mankind and Steve Austin. However, despite his growing momentum, he didn't win the title that night. The next night on Raw, Triple H took matters into his own hands and defeated Mankind to win his first ever WWF Championship. But even then, there were signs that WWF wasn't fully invested in him as the top guy. Unlike The Rock or Steve Austin, who had been presented as the definitive faces of the company, Triple H's title win wasn't given the same grand treatment. To prove himself, he knew he had to go further. One of the most pivotal moments in Triple H's career was his on-screen relationship with Stephanie McMahon. Their storyline began in late 1999 when Triple H orchestrated a shocking moment. He drugged Stephanie and married her in a drive-thru wedding in Las Vegas. This outrageous segment, though controversial, led to a shift in the WWF landscape. At Armageddon 1999, Stephanie turned on her father, Vince McMahon, revealing that she had sided with Triple H all along. This betrayal led to the formation of the McMahon-Helmsley era, where Triple H and Stephanie ruled WWF as an on-screen power couple. Behind the scenes, Triple H's real-life relationship with Stephanie was also blossoming, which played a major role in his growing influence within the company. By early 2000, he was firmly established as the top heel, not just because of his in-ring work, but because of the power he wielded through his association with the McMahon family. A significant reason for Triple H's ascent was the absence of Steve Austin. By late 1999, Austin was forced to take time off due to a serious neck injury that required surgery. His departure left a massive void in the main event scene, and WWF needed a strong villain to step up. Triple H was more than happy to fill that role. With Austin out of the picture, Triple H became the company's top heel and engaged in feuds with some of WWF's most beloved babyfaces. His matches with Mick Foley, especially at Royal Rumble 2000, a brutal street fight, and No Way Out 2000, a Hell in a Cell match where Foley was forced to retire, solidified his credibility as a tough, ruthless champion. These matches were instrumental in proving that Triple H wasn't just a political player behind the scenes, but also capable of delivering classic performances inside the ring. Although Triple H had distanced himself from the original DX, he still kept elements of the faction around for his benefit. In 2000, DX was rebranded as a heel stable, with Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, and X-Pac acting as Triple H's enforcers. They often interfered in his matches, helping him retain his championship. However, DX was no longer about rebellious youth. It was now just another extension of Triple H's dominance. By the middle of 2000, it was clear that Triple H had outgrown the group. He no longer needed DX, And as his main event status became more cemented, the faction faded into the background. One of the most controversial aspects of Triple H's rise was the perception that he held other wrestlers down. With his growing influence, both as a performer and through his relationship with Stephanie, many believed he used his position to prevent certain stars from reaching the top. Chris Jericho. Despite being one of the hottest new stars in 2000, Jericho struggled to defeat Triple H in meaningful matches, even when he did win, like on an episode of Raw, where he briefly captured the WWF Championship. The decision was reversed. Kurt Angle. In late 2000, Angle was gaining steam, but his feud with Triple H was overshadowed by the real-life love triangle storyline involving Stephanie. Triple H ultimately won their rivalry. Taz. A dominant force in ECW, Taz was immediately booked as inferior upon arriving in WWF. When he faced Triple H in early 2000, he was easily beaten, further damaging his credibility. While some of these decisions may have been strategic, they fueled the perception that Triple H was willing to protect his spot at all costs. Triple H's rise also came at the expense of his former ally, Chyna. The two had been an on-screen and real-life couple for years, but once Triple H started dating Stephanie McMahon, Chyna's position in WWF weakened. She was slowly written out of storylines, and by late 2000, she was gone from the company entirely. It was a bitter end to a partnership that had been crucial to Triple H's early success. While he moved on to greater heights, Chyna was left behind, a casualty of the new power structure. By the end of 2000, Triple H had firmly established himself as one of WWF's biggest stars. His reign of dominance was built on a combination of talent, political maneuvering, and perfect timing. With Steve Austin returning in late 2000, Triple H was now positioned as Austin's biggest rival heading into 2001. Although The Rock had surpassed him in popularity in 1999, Triple H proved that he belonged in the same conversation as Austin and Rock. His transformation from a mid-card DX member into the Game was complete. Love him or hate him, Triple H had arrived, and he wasn't going anywhere.